Drobo Doctor. Welcome to the 18th lesson of Introduction to Sakha, Wan Oxus Urwok. Those who are new to the channel or to this video series, the link to the PDF of the original or the original, the source, the source material for this is in the description box. But I haven't been here in a while, so I'm like, let me go and do my color coding for the endings of the words. Let me go and check my translations, which I do, and I will make a lesson video. I'll try to do more often, but no, I can't say I will or won't. We'll see what happens. It's not as if there's a mountain of Sakha learners waiting for me to upload, but I do hope that the people that do view my videos are benefited by it. All right, talar, vocabulary. Bulka, bread roll, or as we say down south in the U.S., rolls. Ihit, dishware. They translate it as dishware. I put dishes. Aral, to give or to bring. Turwar, turwar, turwar. To place, to set. You'll notice probably, or maybe, that is related to tor, like stand. All right, then we have meh. And the translator of the version I'm sourcing this from, the material I'm sourcing this from, translated that as well. And that may be accurate, but I don't think that's its only meaning. I didn't think that's its only meaning, so I looked up in sakhatala.ru, the Sakha dictionary, and lo and behold, it can mean here, or take this. And that's what it means in the sentence. We'll see it in later. All right, then we have kot, to pour, bus, to cut, tot, to become full, to eat enough or full. Bert, very excellent, totally. And then I put quite or rather, because that's the sense I get from it, the meaning I get from it. Then we have Bahalusta, please, which comes from Pajalusta in Russian. Then we have Bahuba, which means thank you, and that comes from Spasiba in Russian. All right, the remarks on grammar. So today we're going to have the partitive case, and this may on the surface seem very similar to the, what's the fancy quote unquote term? I think dative case. No, accusative case. Might seem similar to the accusative case because it's also used for direct objects, which means something that you're doing something to. However, this ending is only attached to nouns that are included in a command. So if you're telling someone to do something, eat the bread, bring me the book, etc., then you will use often this partitive case. And we'll see more info about that in a moment. So the endings, if it's in a vowel, if the noun ends in a vowel, diphthong or unvoiced consonants, we're going to add ta, de, ta, or do. So are, ta, kinige, kinigete, jie, jiete, hos, hosto, tunuk, tunukte, etc. Then if the word ends in ya or then we're gonna add da, de, do, or do. So we'll have like che, che de, sahar, saharda, dor, dorda, uy, uydu. If it ends in lel, la, le, la, lu, astol, astolla, kul, kulle, boksagol, boksagolla. If it ends in an M, an N, or an NG type sound, they would add na, ne, no, or nu. So, an, anna. Silim. Let me scroll down. Silim. Silimne. Ting, tingne. So, in its meaning, the partitive case corresponds closely to the Russian genitive in its quantitative distributive sense. Indicate such as in the phrase "vypit vody," vod, vody. I may not be saying that right. Drink some water. Natita technique, to read a lot of books. Okay, if you know Russian, that might help you. Or if you know French, it's similar to when we put de, boire de l'eau, boire de l'eau. I don't. My French is slacking. Avoir du mal, to have trouble. It is used in the situations in which the object that undergoes the action is understood indeterminately in relation to its quantity, quality, or individuality. It is only used with the imperative mood of the verb. that is saying what I said a moment ago, that it just means we use it in commands. If you did not understand the references to Russian or French, it is similar to English. In some old-fashioned English, when we say he drank of some bread, like you have it in the Bible, like whosoever drinketh of the living water or something. So we sometimes use of the way the French use de, meaning of, for an object. So similar in Sakha, but it's all used for commands. Okay. So for instance, çayde is drink some tea. Gidigete ağın. Read a book, y'all. Atta ağalın. Y'all bring me a horse. In this way, the partitive case together with the foundational case serves to signify an indeterminate object and represents one of the forms of a direct object. My accent's going back and forth. In contrast with the foundational case, a word in the partitive case admits determinations in front of it, meaning it can be used differently than the foundational case, which is, I believe, they're referring to no case ending. It can take other stuff. So if you say like drink a lot of tea, then you would definitely use this partitive case ending. So for instance, elbeh çayde is drink a lot of tea. Yuchige kirigete ağın. That's supposed to be blue right there. Blue, blue, blue. Okay. Y'all read a good book. Edir atta ağalın. Y'all bring me a young horse. If anybody does not know what I'm talking about or they are confused, don't worry. I mean, you can read the original document or pause and read what I have here. It's pretty much the same. But I do believe that when we get to the examples here, it will make more sense. Okay. So, che arguida. So that da ending is, oh, and this is jire at home. Che arguida. And actually, yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah, so tea boiled. So that da is one of the past tense endings. Da de da du no ne no nu la le la lu that we learned for he, she, or it in the past tense verbs. But in English, we would say the tea's boiled. The tea has boiled. The tea is boiled. The tea is boiling. Actually, that sounds better. The tea is boiling. Anyway, I'll try not to make this too lengthy. I will continue. Cheyi koton. Cheyi koton. 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 So you'll remember this is the accusative case, I believe. And I say I believe because sometimes I don't know all the Latin terminologies for the grammatical terms. Even though I have studied linguistics academically, it is boring and not really clear, in my opinion. That means you're doing something to the tea. Che-yi. So che is just tea. The tea could be doing something. The tea could be being delicious. But in this case, the tea is being done too. It is being poured, and so we add e. Which in commands, we may use the partitive case that we just saw there. Here it actually is a command, but we have I believe, the direct object particle rather than the partitive case that we just looked at. Kot, we remember, means pour. Un is the command ending for plural. So y'all do something. Y'all pour some tea. I don't remember. Oh yeah, this partitive. Well, why did I put a star? I don't remember. I'm sorry, guys. I'm kind of scatterbrained today, so you're gonna have to bear with me. And like I tell people sometimes, like I'm the only one doing this, and I'm not salty about it. I'm happy to do it. I love Sakha. But if anybody feels that I'm not up to par, I will not be offended. If you are a Sakha, please make materials. Like, do it better than me. I will invite you. I will welcome you. I will not feel challenged at all. I'm doing the best that I can do as a non-Sakha person, not even a person from Russian Federation at all. Yeah. Okay. Sayarda. That is not actually an ending. That's the person's name. I just did that by accident. Okay. Sayarda ostolka ihiti turwarda. So sayarda, table, on, dishes, I put id. So sayarda, set the table is what we're really saying. She put the dishes on the table or she set the table. Sakha arını agalla wanna kiliyapista. When you have the the orange highlighting there, that usually means that I corrected a typo from the book. It said wanna, and I'm like, I don't know what is wanna. Is that some strange version of wanna? And I looked it up on the dictionary. There's no such word. I looked it up in the book. There's no case where that occurs other than there. So I think it was a typo. So I switched it to wanna because that would make sense. So remember the and n endings. These are also the direct object markers. Agalla, past tense ending, and busta, past tense. So brought sugar and butter and cut the bread. So likely that was also sayarda doing that. Giliabe, urun, giliap, bert, miniges, giliap, butter, olor, wanna, chay, heller. The bread is white bread. It is such delicious bread. Everybody sits and drinks tea. Okay. I'm not going to explain all the endings. If you've been studying with me up to here, you should no pressure, no shame. You'll likely recognize a lot of them because all the ones that I don't mention and a lot of the ones I do mention while I'm reading the sentences, we've already learned. So if there's one that hasn't been taught in the book yet and in the videos, then I will explain it as we go. Otherwise, you may review the videos, or you can just ask me in the comments. Oh, why is it all? Why does that change to an L? And then I'll tell you, oh, because when you add lot to odd, the final L of odd becomes an L to match lot. Odd. Okay. Keskil kelle. Ollar keskil. Bahalista. Çeyde is. Sayarda. Boğata ağal. Üstü kiliyepte bıs. Keskilga çeyde kut. Oh, Keskil's here. Have a seat, Keskil. Please drink some tea. Sayarda, bring some bread rolls. Sayarda's like a slave in this house. Cut some more bread. Pour some tea for Keskil. I feel bad for Sayarda. Like, what's so good? He's so happy to see Keskil. He's hollering, bossing Sayarda around. All right. Keskil olarar wanna çay iher. Keskil sits and drinks tea. Aha, üçigeydik. Keskil, bu kata ıl. Arı ta ıl. Sahar bubar. Sahar da ıl. Eat up, Keskil. Here's some rolls and some butter. Here's the sugar. Oh, I said have you some sugar. That's not a question, though. That's like in the South we say have you some sugar. It just means have some sugar. Because so if you may recall, the first translation is literal word for word, and the translation I'm reading out loud after I read the Sakha sentence is a natural English translation. So again, feel free to pause and analyze as we go, because as much as I would love to give a lot of analysis in the Sakha sentence and read the literal translation and read the natural translation, we will be here for an hour if I do that. I don't think I'll have anybody watch the videos if I make it an hour long. I'm just being honest. But yeah, I mean, tell me what you think. If you're like, oh, you're going too fast, or I want more detail, or it's too detailed or too slow, let me know. Keskil elbektik ahata olahannik totto. Keskil ate a lot and got really full. Üstü aha keskil. Üstü aha keskil. Sit still, eat keskil, which in this case means eat some more. And I was double checking my understanding of this word üstü, which can mean still or also. And I didn't realize, but I learned from the dictionary that it means I guess it's from the Russian word yusho, which means the same thing. So that's interesting for any of you Russophiles out there. Swach bahaba tuksu tatum. No, thank you. I've had enough. I'm full. Now, I will point out that this tum is the past tense ending. So if I did something, like got full, so tot is full, but it's a verb, it's like to get full. So I got full, so we're gonna put tum at the end. Okay, totum. That's one of the past tense endings for I. I did something. All right. So no thank you. Enough. I'm full. All right. And to answer the question section, you can answer the questions on your own on paper or out loud. You can pause or do it after if you want to, or you could just continue to analyze these question sentences with me to continue to learn and immerse in language. But these questions are based on the part that we just read. Tuach arguita. So that sentence might seem kind of weird. What boiled? But it's based on that first sentence, right? Che arguita. So that would be your answer. So, yep. Sayarda tugu kena. And remember, when I highlight a whole word in this brownish purple color, that means that that word changed form. So you may remember that what is tuach. But if the word what is an object, what are you doing? What did you do? Then it changes form to tugu. So Sayarda tugu kena. What did Sayarda do? Kini hannak kiliabi busta. Which bread did he cut? Or actually, it should probably be she, because I think that Sayarda is a woman. John tugu kenalar. John tugu kenalar. What did the people do? And I put Falk in the literal translation because John is an uncountable noun as far as I understand, like the word folk. Although we do count folk, a lot of people say folks. But anyway. Kim kelle. Who came? Onna kihi tugu ette. What did that man there say? Well, it might not be man, it could be. So I put man, but we could also say person. So there in that scene, there was a person who said something. What did they say? What did that person there say? Keskilga tugu bierdiler. What did they give to Keskiel, or what was given to Keskiel? Let's say, yeah, we could do it either way. What did they give to Keskiel? This is the thing about translation, y'all, is like, if you're practicing or you're learning to translate, it's a good practice to do what we're doing here, especially if you're still learning the language, like I am. Do a little translation, and then you can even do multiple natural translations that fit the meaning of the foreign language sentence. So, anyway. Alright. Keskiel tugu gana. Gana. Keskiel tugu gana. What did Keskiel do? Kihi tugu ette. What did the person say? Oh yeah, because we don't know who the person is that's talking to him. Yeah, they said to, well, don't pause it or mute me if you don't want spoilers on the answers, but the person said to eat more, using the word usu. Usu aha. And then, Keskiel onna tugu ette. What did Keskiel say there? So how did Keskiel respond to what the person said, telling him to eat more? He said, well, I won't tell you in Sakha, but he said, because if you want to do the exercise, but he said, enough, I'm full. Okay. Then we have this translate section from the book, and although I translate everything, this is the section of the book that they actually ask you to translate, but anyway. Sayana, somebody's name. Kel, sögeide is. Kortek te sie. This part has a lot of words from the last lesson, the food names. So, come and drink some cream and eat some spiten. And spiten was this kortek. It was that, I put pictures in the last lesson. If you didn't watch it, you can go see. Because it had a lot of, I never heard of this spiten. And if you are like me and most people and don't know what that is, you can just look up kortek or just look at my last lesson. Alright. Ayal. Me bu utuis. Ayal, here, you drink this milk. There we have that me that we talked about earlier. There's our direct object marker. So you'll notice also in this section, you'll see some of the direct object marker that we learned before. And you'll see some of the partitive case, which also marks a direct object that we had in the grammar section. And so I did my best to translate into English in a way that kind of fits the meaning about why we choose this ending, why we say ute, and why in some other sentences we might say ute. But again, like I said at the end of the grammar section, it's something you want to get like a feel for. You don't have to understand the theory of it in full right away. Most of us will not, unless we know another language with the same grammar. And I mean, I do, but even then, you still get a feel from it from the sentences because the usage, the habits of language might be different for the native speakers than in another language. Okay, so just keep in mind. Okay, I see this ending. I understand the meaning. I see how you translated it, and just get a feel for it. All right. Ehigi ostuala boy ka barin. So y'all go to the dining room or cafeteria. I think this book translates ostual boy as cafeteria, but the dictionary says cafeteria or dining room. And when I looked up the word ostual boy, it had both pictures. So there might not be a distinction in Sakha, but if you're a native speaker and you're watching, you can tell me, is ostuala boya, ostuala boy, is that more often one or the other, or does it really just depend on context? I think it depends on context, but again, let me know if you know. All right. Anna ebiete alun. Take your lunch there. In a previous lesson, we had sentences where it was like they got their lunch. They were at the school cafeteria and they got their lunch, and it used the verb ol. So from what I understand, the mama is telling them to get their lunch at the cafeteria. But again, there's no like real context. These are kind of just random sentences. So she could be telling them to take their lunch to the dining room. So unless I'm missing something, again, I'm honest with you guys. I'm learning. Like, I've already studied these materials that I'm presenting to you and the whole book, but I don't claim to understand every nuance. So I'm just doing the best I can do. And hopefully it helps some people. If you're helped by these videos, like, let me know in the comments. Not that I need validation or anything, but, it would be nice to know that some people actually helps them to learn Sakha. Otherwise, I'm kind of just doing this for me to help myself practice and review. But yeah. All right. Minne ihin etesien. Drink of some soup and eat of some meat. So have some soup and have some meat. Iti suaratta ensie. Iti suarat. Bu sugai siemen. Don't y'all eat any of this cream. Urun kiliebi bahama. Hara kiliepte bus. So that's interesting, and I don't know if there's a reason for this grammatically, but we use the accusative case in the for urun kiliebi bahama, the negative command, don't cut the white bread, but we use the partitive case for the positive command of do cut the black bread. Also, what is black bread? I tried to look it up, but I couldn't find anything. Yeah. Harakiliapte bus. Chege sa harda o. Tea to sugar of take. So that's like have some sugar with your tea, put some sugar in your tea. Chege ute kut. Pour some milk into the tea. Chege ute kut. Yeah. I'm getting lost in the analysis. Kiliapke arata o. Put some butter on the bread. Miache to me changes form from min, which is just I. So miache hayo cheide kut. Pour me some thick tea. Now this is another one. I don't know what is thick tea. Hayo means thick. Che means tea. But I did not just go off of the literal meaning. I looked it up. And I didn't find much. But I did find some Yakut person's Instagram post that had a picture of milk, like tea, hot tea with milk, and said, hayo che. Like, yummy. Thick tea. So maybe that's what they call tea with milk. Maybe it is. I don't know. Really not. Good thing I don't be trying to make money with this because I'm like showing all my areas of lack in here. I just can't be fake, y'all. Like I can't be fake. Like these people on the internet that they chop out, like they pretend they know everything and then they edit their video. First of all, I'm not going to spend hours editing my videos to protect my ego. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh no, I admitted I don't know something, I'm going to cut it out. Because why would I do that? Like one, if someone does pay me for a lesson, I want them to know my level because I want to help them if I'm actually able to help them. I don't want to make them think I know everything when I don't. Or like even if I'm some languages, most of the time when I teach a foreign language, I speak it well. And so I let people know, like, in what way do I speak it well? How have I learned it? In what context have I learned it? Because if you want me to analyze a scientific paper in Chinese, I'm probably not going to do that. Like, I could understand the gist of it because Chinese is very literal, but I'm not going to know all scientific literature terms because I don't even know it in English, which it's not, we don't even write in English for scientific literature. We basically write in Latin. But you know what I mean? So I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up your rear end and all that. So it's like, on one hand, it's like, well, maybe I should put on a good show and play a character and have you guys think I know, I don't have many lackings so that, I get more video views. But honestly, I'd rather have like 100 people that are real and want me to be real watching these videos and learning from me, or learning with me rather, than have like thousands of people, if there are thousands of people learning Yakut anyway, but thousands of people like watching my videos because they think I'm, smart or something. I don't really care at all if somebody thinks I'm smart because smart is a false identity. Nobody's really smart or dumb. You just learn stuff if you want to learn it, and the longer you learn it, the more familiar you get, and the more familiar you are, then people say, oh, he knows this, he must be smart. Well, no, you just get used to it. You just learn it. You become familiar with it. And that's how. It's not because you're dumb or smart. And if you don't know it, it's not because you're dumb. It's because you're just don't know it yet because you haven't encountered it that much. But anyway, this is like half vlog, half lesson. Miache kinigete agal. Bring me a book. Ichige kinigete agal. Bring me a good book. Bu kinigeni agal. Bring me this book. Again, you can pay attention to, okay, what does it have? Direct object, what does it have? Partitive. Ol kinigeni kuzka bier. Give the book to that girl, or give that book to that girl is, to the girl is more accurate. Iti wolga haradasta bier. Give the pencil to this boy. Ehige manna uleleng. Work here, y'all, or work over here, y'all. All right. Saraktar bostane soyun. Saraktar partata astualla satun. Saraktar annare uskaptare soyung. Some of y'all clean, and again, this is a command. So some of y'all clean the floor, some of y'all wipe off the benches and tables, and some of y'all clean the doors and the closets, and clean out the closets, how we would say in English. Saskalana buastane soya. Uikulang astual sator. Sator. Saskalana cleans the floor and Wimulan wipes off the table. And tunikte sot. Wipe off the window. All right, and in this last section, I put the dots there because it's like a list on the source document. The previous parts are just a wall of text, but I separate them to make it easier. The following part is a list because you're hoping to compare the usage of the whether it does not have any ending after the verb. After the noun, as in this one, or where it does have an ending or it has another ending, whichever ending it has. So we're trying to get an idea of the differences between when there's a case ending, when there isn't, and the usage of the different case endings. I'm not sure how they expect a beginner who is on the 18th lesson to look at kini utiher, kini utoiher, en utoihime, en uteis, en uteis, en uteis, en uteis, and en ut ihime, to look at that and be like, oh yeah, of course, I'm gonna translate that to English. This, like, you know what I mean? Because all of these kind of seem to mean like, he drinks milk. He drinks milk. Don't drink milk. Drink milk. Drink milk. Don't drink milk. You know what I mean? So I put like the and some in some of these sentences that have the case endings or don't, to try to kind of compare them. But like, even myself, who's not perfect but has some experience with the language, that's a challenge. You know, you gotta not only understand it, but think about how to compare it to your native language or to English, even if it's not your native language, which would probably make it harder. But I did my best. So, kini ut iher, he drinks milk. We don't have a case ending after ut. Kini utu iher. That specifies, that emphasizes the direct object of milk, ut. He drinks the milk. We do that with the in English. Don't drink the milk. Same idea. En utu ihime. Don't drink the milk. En uteis. Drink of the milk, or drink some milk, is how we would probably say that in English. En utuis. Drink the milk. So when you have the direct object marker, that's not the partitive, which I believe should be called the accusative. Let me fact check. Okay, I just fact checked myself. Yeah, the direct object marker, like the u, like the u ending here, is the accusative. I was confused because some other languages use the accusative different. Some have what they call the dative case, but they use that for direct objects. So this is why I don't like the linguistic terms, because they think it gives us this globalist utopia where it's like, I can just look at any language manual and see that it says accusative case and I'll understand it. Well, no, because different languages have what they call an accusative case, but they use them differently. Not just for direct objects in some languages, or it's used for more other uses as well, even if it is used for direct objects, or they use other things for direct objects. And the Eastern languages like Mongolian, Sakha, Kazakh, they use their case endings differently than like Russian or German does. So it's, if you study a lot of languages or you know a few, you cannot necessarily equalize them. So that's why I'm trying to explain it so that people know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I'm so tired. I'm like getting vocal from. I'm like, I know what I'm talking about. Okay. En utis. Drink the milk. So this accusative case ending is emphasizing the object. So you drink. Drink what? Drink milk. Okay. Lastly, and ihime, don't drink milk. Alright, I hope that is helpful for you guys. I will shut my gob and get off of here so this video isn't a million years long. And I will see you guys again in episode or lesson 19.